Absolutely Talks, empowering talent for global careers. Brought to you by Absolutely French, presented by Armel Pervin.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this Absolutely Talks, the new episode. Absolutely Talks happen every first Friday of the month at 1 p.m. Each episode is dedicated to international mobility and expat partners to better understand their realities and improve global achievement, because human is key. As usual, please feel free to share your testimonies and questions in the comments. That's what makes this a real live moment. So thank you. So I'm Armel Perben, founder of Absolutely French, and I am so happy to have you with us today. Today, we are exploring a topic at the very heart of international mobility: how families truly live the transition when arriving in a new country, and how the right support can completely change their experience. So here is one key number to keep in mind: up to 40% of expatriation fail because of family adjustments issues. That's huge. And it proves that supporting the family is not just comfort, it's the key to success. That's exactly why I wanted Camille here with us today at Absolutely French. Our mission is to help expat partners integrate into French society through language, culture, and community. And with YOLO, Camille and her team are focusing on the very first step of the journey, creating a human connection through the role of the allié. She will tell you more about that, who stands with families as they arrive and face the unknown. Our services are complementary. We both believe that when families feel welcomed, guided, and connected, they thrive. And when they thrive, the expatriation thrives in their mission, and the company benefits too. So Camille, I'm delighted to have you here, and I know our audience will take a lot from your story and your vision. So you have lived internationally from multiple angles as an expat child and as an expat yourself in South Africa. So looking back, how did these different stages shape your understanding of what families really need when they arrive in a new country?
So thank you very much, Armel. I think for me, like you said, I've been an expat child, and I must say it was one of the most enriching experience in my life, and I hope to be able to replicate it with my own children. And then I was an expat myself, moving to South Africa to start a company. And I will say that the one thing that was common in those experiences was to have someone, a local person who would be there, who would be talking my language, so French-speaking local person who understands the culture and can act as a bridge between my culture, the French language, and the culture I will soon, discover, and the language I will soon discover. Also giving us the codes, because every society, every culture has its own codes, the admin processes, and also the language. And as a child, having this person locally to make us feel welcome was very enriching, and I'm sure it contributed a lot to the family cohesion that then happened when we moved.
Yeah, that's really insightful. Among all these experiences, was there one moment, ever as a child or as an adult, when you really felt the presence, or one, or at the contrary, the absence of meaningful support?
So, I mean, if I stay on the positive, when I was myself as an expat in South Africa, and I moved to South Africa, I then met a South African with whom I created Within Code, the company I started, and being able to have this local ally, actually, who took me everywhere and was really my duo. But South African was the best, and it was the best way to discover the country and the culture. And in terms of a negative and an absence, I would say that actually when, as a family, we moved back to France. because when we moved back from Germany to France or from the States to France, nobody welcomes you home. They think that because you're French, born in Paris, then you don't need any support. But the reality is you don't fit in anymore because you were gone for 3-4 years. You adapted to a new culture. And it's actually very difficult to come back in terms of, the differences, the quality of life. I mean, moving back from South Africa to Paris was very difficult. But people don't really care because, not that they don't care, but they don't really pay attention and they don't make you feel so welcome as, other expat families will make you feel welcome if you move to Spain, to Latin America, or whatever. So I think this is something to really take into consideration is French families moving back. It's actually sometimes even more traumatic than moving outside.
Yeah, it's true. And we see it. We have lots of expats who come and leave, and it's always the same story. When you go back, it's more difficult than when you arrive in a new country. Cultural shock is the same in the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you came back to France, you told me about this one. Yeah. And how did this inspire you to create YOLO?
So I used to live in South Africa, in Johannesburg, and I had my first child in Johannesburg. I had my company. And when I became a mother, I decided I wanted to, live closer to my own family, to my parents. It was my first child. So I moved back. And they say that, a move can be sometimes as traumatic as a divorce. And it's a real separation. And it was a separation also from a country that I loved, from the company I created. And I arrived in France. We arrived with my partner and our 3-month-old in Paris, trying to find a job, both of us. So it was very difficult. And I think this contributed to a very difficult postpartum. So I would, postpartum are never really diagnosed. So we never know. But then I took a job as an MD and I had to juggle, new life in Paris, a 3-month-old, a very intense job as an MD. And it was extremely difficult. And this is when I realized, okay, I need help, I need help to organize my life, to organize the logistics, to get a médecin traitant, to all of this was so much that I almost burned out. And this is when I met Rebecca and we decided to create YOLO to reinvent the concept of personal assistant, to support, and that was our mission at the beginning, but now it's evolved. But at the beginning, it was really to support working mothers at different stage of their maternity journeys, motherhood journeys. And today, YOLO supports any intense personal life moments, and international mobility is part of those moments.
So it came for mother, for woman. I like this idea because I think it's very important to help women have a great job. So they need help, etc. So it's a very good idea. And now you are doing also men, so you can
So we support 70% women, I would say, and about 30-40% men. Within the mobility, we support families that arrive in France, French families that move out of France, and French families that come back from an expatriation.
Okay, very interesting. So it can be men and women because expat
we are
can
inclusive.
be yes, and everybody need help. So it's not only women.
And especially with expat families, if you help a woman, if she's married or she has a partner, you help the man by definition. So we really help the family. And like you, we focus a lot on the partner because this is so important.
Yeah. And when the partner is happy, the family is happy. So we know that.
Yes.
So now let's speak about the allié, because I love the name and I think you explained really what was your allié in South Africa. So you have co-created not just a service, but almost for me a new mindset, something really new. It's not only about paperwork, it's really with people. So can you explain the role of the allié?
Yes. So with Rebecca, my co-founder, when we started YOLO, for us, it was very important to have a human person, a person that you could relate to, that could understand you. And because when you can relate to someone and that person can understand, then you can really confide in that person and confide the task that are very heavy for you. So we didn't want to be a conciergerie because it's kind of a one-size-fits-all, and we know that the realities of the life of people are very different. So the role of the allié is when we work with B2B companies, HR directors sign with us, and then the HR will say, okay, to this family, you moving from New York to Paris, you're going to have a YOLO who's going to welcome you in France. So what that means exactly is we will send you a matching questionnaire. You will respond to a lot of questions, and based on your answers, we will match you to the allié that fit the most with you, with your family, and with your context. So if you're a single mom, we might match you with an allié that is a single mom. When you are an American family moving to Paris, we will match you with an allié that could be half American, half French. So the idea is that the allié, understand where you're coming from, who you are, etc. And then you will create a real trusting relationship with that allié. She is dedicated, she's with different families, but you all will always have this one allié for you. And she will know the name of your partner. She will talk with your partner. She will know the name of your kids. She will know their age. And she will take care of everything that is linked to moving to Paris in partnership with the relocation company. But the relocation company sometimes stops at the basic services. And so we will look for médecin traitant, like I was saying, organizing the different medical visits that you need to do. We will do all the admin. We have one allié who spent 25 years at the Sécurité Sociale, so that helps. But the idea is that whatever you need, the allié is there for you to help you.
Do you make the connection between the allié and the family? Do they meet in real?
So it depends. For the expat community, for the expat people moving, they can meet if they want to. For our other services, it's mostly digital. But usually for the expat communities, we have alliés that are based in Paris that can meet. So for instance, we had an allié who basically stayed when the apartment was empty. She's the one who welcomed all the IKEA furniture for, the family that was moving. So it's really someone that is dedicated to you to try to make your life easier. And will, organize all there needs to be organized, the kids' activities, the holidays, making your parents come back to visit you, etc.
Okay, so she will have an agenda of what she has to do, and for, I don't know, presents for your daughter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it really depends on everyone's needs. And this is the difference between YOLO and a lot of services. We are extremely personalized.
Okay.
There is no catalog. You can do, as long as it's legal, you can ask whatever you want. And like I said, it can be so different. Like you see, for instance, we supported a single mom who moved from Brazil to Paris with her 3-year-old and her mother that she was helping. So this is not part of a one-size-fits-all catalog. So you have to find, someone who can take care of the daughter, the school, and then someone who can take care of the mother during the day. You need to make sure that the passport are dealt with for the mother. And there's, so many things that we need to do. We had to support a family whose child was diagnosed with ADHD. So we needed to benchmark all the schools in the West Paris that would welcome such a child. And then we would call them and make sure that, there is enough support in the classroom, etc. So every family, they move with their baggage, they move with their lives. They also move with what's going on at home. So they can have ill parents at home that they will need to visit sometimes 2 times. They can have, things that are happening at home that they want to support. So the idea is that the allié, EA +++ for the personal and family life, is here to do whatever you need.
If we speak about expats, because it's a more our subject, so it really helps also for all the administrative talks, paperwork.
Exactly. So if the Sécurité Sociale is done, then, I was speaking to a family and the company dealt with the beginning of the process, but then it was stuck for him and for his wife. And so the allié had to call, 15 times a day for 3 days to be able to unlock the situation. But we will do la CAF, we will help you recruit a nanny, for instance, and then we will do the CESU declaration every month. We will help you sign your insurance contract on your mobile phone and everything we need. If there is fuite d'eau, but we also make sure to send someone. And yeah, the difference also is that you get an allié for the first 12 months of your move. So it's kind of long term in a way, you know, it really is there to follow you and help you settle. And, you know, if you want to organize a really nice birthday for your 10-year-old, but, you know, you just moved to a new city, you don't speak the language. I always say, YOLO, it's here to liberate you from tasks you would do, but also to allow you to dream bigger in a way, you know, and to say, it's not because I moved in a new city where I feel that I cannot have, you know, personal ambitions for my family and my children and try to do, you know, what I always did in my home country.
Yeah, and of course, and the 12 first months are the most, even the 3 first months are the most difficult for expats. So it's very good to have this service at this moment. So this new service for expats, you started like 1 year ago, something like this. Did you have surprises if you compare with, I would say, the normal people who use your service and the expat families? Are there differences between them, and what did you see? How did you adapt also to this?
So we adapted with the type of allié that we matched to those families. So obviously they need to be English speaking. They're based in Paris. They themselves moved from countries to countries, so they know what it is. I think we had very different situation. We had a man who was a single dad who was moving to Paris with his 2 children, but the mother was still in their home country. So we had to organize, you know, the kids going back, you know, with the father once and then coming back with the mother. So there's a lot of, you know, logistics behind that. We had a woman who had to move to Japan from France. And then we realized that for her to move, she has to be married, but she was not married with her partner. So we had to organize a wedding. Like I was speaking to an American woman who moved to Paris, and she was telling me, you know, every time I call La CAF and ask them if they speak English, they just hang up on me. So I felt really bad, you know, and I was like, this is so important that we exist and other services like you exist, because it can be, and we know even as French and Parisians that we are not the most welcoming as a culture and as a people. And so I think it's very important to have this person who is there with a smile, who knows, who reassures you, reassures the partner, reassures the children.
It's very difficult for expats when they arrive in Paris, but not only in Paris, everywhere in the world. Just so if you have testimonies to share with us, you can do it now on LinkedIn in the comments. So sometimes human resources teams worry that emotional support can't be scaled or doesn't look strategic enough. If one of them were here today, so I know we have some people from human resources today with us, what would you tell them?
I'm pretty harsh on this. I mean, I think, first of all, I think human resources is the most important job in a company. I think companies are, at the end of the day, only people, and people are humans, and humans are emotional beings. We're not yet all machines, which is good news. We might get there, but until we're there, emotions are really at the core of our lives and at the core of everything we do, and of our work as well. And I think a move, like we say, is very emotional because we're leaving a lot behind. We're leaving a family, an extended family. Usually in the ages we move, we have parents that are getting older, and we know that caregiving is a real thing. And so we cannot not take into consideration the emotional aspect of a move. And I'm sure that if relocations don't work, it's mostly because emotional difficulties. Because if we decided to move, we made the pragmatic decision that it would be a good decision, but then we realize that it's too much and we're not dealing with it, and our partner is depressed and our kids are unhappy, and it's not worth it, basically. I think what a lot of testimonies that the women and the men we help who are expat told us is like, I feel that because you are here, I can focus on my job, and that I don't have to focus on, you know, the guilt that I carry, that I'm the one, that it's because of me that we're all here. Although, you know, you can rephrase and say it's thanks of me that we're all here and we have the support and it's going to be amazing.
And they don't spend hours to do the CAF during the work times.
And an expatriation is also usually linked to a bigger job, a bigger opportunity, move in a career. And it's similar to, when you take a new job with a new child, and it's this kind of high intensity moments in life where emotions can, take over and actually create burnout and create failures in the moves.
Yes. So you do have alliés in France and in other countries also?
No, for now we only in France. I mean, we are expanding with our companies. I mean, with our clients. So we have alliés in London, in Brussels, and in Italy. Like small groups of alliés, but we're mostly based in France.
Okay. So it's very good for the people who arrive in France.
Yes.
To have your help. Okay.
Because the point of the allié is that she's very connected to the local context.
Yeah.
So we cannot just, we would have, if we would, the day we move to a country, we have to do it properly, not to lose our soul and the quality of the service.
Yeah, I truly understand. If we want to meet an allié, we can also book on your website, no? Directly.
Oh, so if you want to be matched with an allié, yes, you can definitely. Okay. So we are B2B, so we only work with companies.
Okay.
So we don't work B2C. We work with entrepreneurs. We work with companies of all sizes. We have about 45 clients today, 12 of which are CAC 40 companies. And you can contact us via our website, yes.
Okay.
Or via my email or LinkedIn, by the way.
Okay, yeah. So you will find the profile.
I'm the co-founder and still very much involved since YOLO is only 3 years old.
Yeah, but you did a great job already.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing adventure. It's like you said at the beginning, it's a shift of mindset, and a shift of mindset takes time because so the second YOLO that exists will have a much easier time. But, convincing people of everything you said, about the emotional, especially since COVID, now need to reinvent their societal and social reason, their raison d'être. And we used to say, personal life stops at the professional door, which this is not true anymore. No. And nobody wants to live like this. It doesn't, it's not a dream life. So we need to take into consideration the personal lives because they impact so much of the professional. And, the people that we support, they say that thanks to YOLO, they can regain, 3 to 4 hours of working hours a week. And this is time that they value, actually, because this is time that they usually spend doing personal admin or whatever. And now they can focus on their team, on their strategic, and they can have quality time with their family and their children because they're not, coming home and also doing all of those things.
Yeah. And what is important also when you're an expat is that the allié will do that in 1 hour, but the expat could spend 10 hours to do it because it doesn't speak the language, it doesn't understand the codes, like you said. Yeah. So it's really a saving time for the family.
Yeah. And like all of us, expat and non-expat, when we try to do this during the day or during the week, obviously we're being interrupted. Yeah. So a task that would take an allié 1 hour would take us 10 hours and it's Friday evening, we still didn't complete it. So yeah, in terms of mental load and just simply saving time, it's huge.
And I think it's like what we do in Absolutely French. You also save time for the mobility team because the expat are not going to the mobility team and ask all these things to them.
Yes,
they have an allié.
This is the first time. This is the first thing that the mobility team, for instance, at L'Oréal told us was like, you are our allié also, because they kind of become in a way kind of the concierge of some issues and problematics. The school, my son and my mom is ill, and what do I do? And so now this is YOLO taking care of it, so they can focus on why they exist, which is not necessarily dealing with all the personal and family problems.
If you could change just one thing tomorrow in corporate mobility practices, what would it be?
For me, I think it would be, like what we discussed, having a much more personalized, emotional, local, and long-term support that kind of consider the expat as a 360, the family. I think not everything needs to be thought as not strategic or not scalable, because it is strategic. Because if someone is moving and it's a big job and they leave because their family is not happy, then you're losing a lot of money. And that is not strategic and scalable. And I think a lot of people at the beginning were very cautious of the model of YOLO, saying, is it scalable, etc. And actually today we have 100 alliés, we have 500 families, and it's only been not even 2 years. And I think for us, it's important to offer this personalized support because this is what makes an impact, and this is what is life-changing, and this is what makes a real difference.
I agree with you, totally. I have one question. How can anchor points be adapted to specific situations like single parents, you told me, caregivers, children with special needs?
Basically, the allié offers personalized support. We have alliés. We have about 70 to 100 alliés who come from very different experiences, very different expertise. Some are themselves single moms or have children with specific needs. Another one worked, like I said, 15 years at La CAF, another one 10 years at Sécurité Sociale. We have another one who used to work for Coty. She has a young daughter and she moved from Hong Kong to China to Paris. So we have very different profiles of alliés that we will match to the families that we support. And on top of that, our alliés, they all work together. So there is collective intelligence. They share best practice, they share processes, they share, addresses, etc. So we really adapt to the situation and not linked to expat specifically, but we support with YOLO what we call the moments of life. And so those moments of life can be, caring for your ill parents, or caring for a child who is ill or handicapped, or caring for your partner who may be ill. And so we have this expertise to support any kind of life situation.
So you can help anybody who has specific needs.
Yeah.
So it's good to know.
Yeah.
If we had to track 3 simple indicators to measure the impact of alliés, which would they be?
So there's a difference between your indicators and my indicators. But I think in terms of the company's indicators, our clients' indicators, what we tracked is the usage rate of the service. And our usage rate today is around 92%. So the service, once an expat family has chosen to work with YOLO, or the client has chosen to support an expat family, it's being used up to 90% of its capacity. So it's very much used.
Yeah.
Then the satisfaction rate, the allié will work with the expat family every day. So it's we have built a tool is on WhatsApp and on a proprietary tech that is completely secured from RGPD, etc. But so that enables you to have your allié on your WhatsApp, which is where all your personal and family life is anyway. And so we send feedback, and we get satisfaction rates, which are very good. We have an NPS score which is above 9. And then we send also surveys and questionnaires at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end of the accompagnement, where we ask how did the service, reduce your mental load? Did it help you move and have a more serene move? And how much time did you save?
Okay, very good. So you do also reporting? Reporting
KPIs reporting. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, very good. If you have any other question, free to ask. I think I asked all the question. So I just wait 1 minute, and then if we don't have any more questions, we will end for today. Just during this time, I will introduce what is next. So next month, you were speaking about L'Oréal, and it's Florence Mépuy is coming to Absolutely Talks. So she's the International Mobility Manager of L'Oréal, and we will dive into expat spouse integration. So how tailored support boosts dual career success and assignment performance. So I'm happy to welcome her next week. So it's the 3rd October at 1 p.m. Okay, so I think thank you, Camille, to be here.
Thank you, everyone.
And thank you for the question you asked. Also you in front of us. We don't see you, but you were here. Thank you. And I will write the website and everything in comments. Thank you, Camille, to be with us today. It was very good to have your insight about mobility.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.